Hello, I'm Lisa Rangel from Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about 4 decisions that you need to make when you're choosing to put color into your executive resume. Now, I'm a big fan of being simple, taking a simple approach when writing your executive resume. And I take this approach from my 13 years of being an executive recruiter prior to starting my company, Chameleon Resumes, my executive resume writing company, Chameleon Resumes, in 2009. Now, with that said, the use of color in a resume can be very powerful when used properly, and it can also be detrimental when used poorly. And you don't automatically have to choose to put color into your resume as well. And I'm going to give you 4 decisions that you can consider. And there's definitely more, but these are 4 that I find to be, these 4 decisions to be the most important and can cover most of your bases when you're deciding whether to use color in your executive resume. So, and this is in no particular order. These are just, I encourage you to listen to all 4 and then you decide what's the most important one for you to consider and start with first. So the first decision that you can consider is, what's your target audience in writing this resume? You know, are you looking for an executive level role? Are you marketing your consulting services if you're a sole proprietor or you have your own company? Are you promoting the services of the company you work for as an executive or senior leader? So consider your target audience based on that purpose of writing the resume, and some factors you can consider of whether you're going to use color or not are you, is this for an RFP? Are you marketing your business? Again, are you looking for a new executive level job? And so based on the culture of the companies that you're targeting, if they're more conservative, if you notice a theme amongst your target companies of where you're looking to either land business with or to land a new executive role with, are there any certain themes? Are there themes of being more progressive in nature, more conservative in culture? Whatever theme you tend to notice of your target companies, that might represent a certain color that you maybe now want to put in your resume so you can reflect back what they are putting out and appeal to their senses of feeling like you're the one by having some color that they tend to use in their marketing collateral that you can use in yours. So that, it sounds simple, but it's simple things like that that can matter. So I would factor in, consider your target audience and look for any themes in what your target audience portrays, and see if color can help support that you are philosophically in alignment with that target audience, and reflects, that could be a decision point of why you would want to choose to use color in your resume, and then again, what color you might want to use in your resume. The second consideration for you to factor in is your personality. You may really want to come across with a stronger brand that can be reflected visually with the use of color. Now, not everyone wants to do this, and in fact, I do a resume training that I'll have links to in the description towards the end. I'll direct some information about that, of where you can do that, where I actually have an example of a well-done resume done in black, white, and gray. So you absolutely do not need to have color in your resume for it to be effective. But if you have certain aspects about your personality, about your philosophy, about your, the nature of your work, that lends itself to being depicted in a visual way with the use of color, and a specific color or combination of colors, this could be a reason why you would want to use color in your resume. So again, this is just another item to put on your decision list for choosing to use color, and then again, which color to use if you decide to do it. But you don't have to do it, and I'll explain to you why in the next couple of points. So the third decision for you to consider of whether you're going to use color in your resume, in your executive resume or not, is, and frankly, I believe this is one of the most important reasons of the 3. Why are you using it? Are you drawing the reader's eye more effectively through the document with the use of color, or you really need to do a gut check? Is this going to actually distract the reader from the information and image you're trying to put forth, right? So ask yourself why you're using it. Once you get past the target audience reason and your personality reason, just ask yourself, why are you doing this? what are you trying to accomplish by using the color in your document? And generally speaking, when using color, if you are just choosing to use color, I would be much more conservative than ostentatious. I would be simpler versus more complex. The goal, which is actually going to get to point number 4, is the goal is to really just of using color and any written word for that matter, any heading choice, like really every choice about your resume, is, are you moving the I through the document? That's really the goal, because if you move the I through the document, you increase the chances of getting that call or email back for a request for an interview, because that is the ultimate goal of a resume, is to get the request for a meeting, an interview, a conversation, however you want to term that. So, to get back to what I believe, this number 3 to be the most important reason, is, are you moving the I through the document? Why are you using the color, and what choice, and your color choice, if you are choosing to use color in terms of your color choice, and if you're choosing to use it, are you moving the reader's eye through the document with your use of color? That's really the ultimate goal, which leads to number 4, and it's a question you need to ask yourself of a decision point. And this is if you're writing your own resume, or if you're hiring a resume writer, an executive resume writer, to write your resume. Here's the gut check question of number 4 is, are you doing this for ego? Are you trying to be different for difference sake? Are you trying to, is your writer trying to display their, very astute graphic skills versus having an actual purpose behind the use of the graphic or the use of the color? So make sure there's a reason that isn't completely ego-fueled, right? It's one thing to reflect your personality in a color choice or choice of using color, but if it's completely ego-fueled, that can really detract from the purpose of the resume. The purpose of the resume, it is a marketing document. It is to market your achievements that are relevant to the job opening or purpose at hand, for you to eventually, support your activities of getting a meeting or actually get you the meeting if it's a completely cold approach. So it's really important to not have the use of color, and this goes for everything, right? It goes for heading choices, it goes for word choices, it goes for the use of graphics and tables and text boxes and all the things that you can see in a resume. Every choice, color is no different, that color I'm using in a resume is no different, is it moving the I through the document? And if it's not, then you might be answering that 4th point here, this 4th decision point with, this is an ego-driven decision, so maybe I shouldn't do it. So you want to make sure, again, every choice on your resume, and the topic of this video is the use of color in your executive resume, but it goes, again, this is a rationale for every choice that word choice, everything I just said. Are you moving the I through the document? And if you're unsure, and you don't have a definitive answer or a definitive opinion from an external resource, you might want to opt out of using, the color in your resume. You want to make sure you have a reason for doing it, and then once you implement that reason, with that reason in mind, make sure it's effective in moving the I through the rest of the document to encourage that reader to want to reach out to you for an interview. So, with that said, I did mention that I am going to be having a free resume training where I walk you through before and afters of executive resumes that we've created that have landed interviews. And again, of the examples I give, one is a black and white and gray example. So you don't always have to use color. But again, if you want to use these 4 decision points. But if you'd like to see the training that I offer, I'm going to suggest that you go to the link below and register for it next week. And if you're watching this after that live event takes place, we will replace the link with an evergreen recording that you can still learn from. So make sure you register and either attend the live if it's within the next week, or you can watch the evergreen version if it's after the live event. So I look forward to seeing you on the live event. And if you are going to be eventually watching the evergreen recording, make sure if you have any questions, you reach out to me at lr@chameleonresumes.com. I read and reply to every email. You can also comment below. If you feel like someone will benefit from this video, I'm going to ask you to share it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you do not miss next week's video. And of course, again, I think I got everything. I'm feeling like I lost a moment there. I feel like there's 4 things and I only said 3. But anyway, like it, comment it, reach out to me, subscribe to it, and thank you so much for your support. And I hope to see you next week. Take good care.